the public perception of your industry is against you. You can probably feel it. You probably know it. But what if I told you you can turn that negative energy into your most valuable asset? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not talking about something for social media. I'm talking about an evergreen campaign. I'm talking about a strategy that allows you to achieve 7 big concrete things with one national documentary. Let's name them. Change the public perception. Improve membership with your association. Improve staffing shortages. Generate a lot of free PR. I'm going to say number 5 is the big one. It's where you get access to people's eyes and ears outside of your industry when you get on a national streaming platform on every smart television. Roku, Samsung, Amazon, Fire. What about facilitate fundraising? Number 6. And number 7, it serves as ammunition against your haters, against your enemies. So today I'm going to take you through the exact same action plan that we have done before that turns a documentary into a strategic tool for your industry, your association, your business. See, this generates results for not the next year, not the next 2 years. This will generate results for the next decade, if not more. It is a proven system that's ready to be applied by you today. Number 1, it's diagnosis of the perception, the crisis. Something that people say about you that you wish they didn't, or you wish that you could at least answer back fairly. What people really say about you and think about your industry when you're not in the room. You see, the first step is to understand your enemies, the people who are playing against you. And I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about their preconceived ideas that they are sharing across the internet, whether you want to or not. Let's just go through a couple of them. What do they think of the pharmaceutical industry? Profits. What do they think of nursing homes? Place to die. What do they think of painters? Unprofessional. Alcoholism. What do they think of car salesmen? Selling lemons. Schmarmy. See, our research process will go through all of these items and figure it out, see where they're talking about you. And then we're going to start to analyze what is your ammunition to combat that unfair perception of you. Now, the first question, who really is against me? And I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through how I start to do this when I start to work with a new partner. Who are the largest organizations that are presenting a negative perception of long-term care? Lobbyists, attorneys, journalists, share those with me. Now, what I would do with this information just for showing the power that these types of players have, creating the reputation around this particular industry, let's go look at them. And then from here, I'd like to see what they're doing on video since everybody's moving to YouTube these days. As you can see, this law firm has had more than 570,000 views focusing on abuse. Now, I'm not saying, and nobody that I've worked with in long-term care does not say that abuse and neglect does not happen. What we're saying is that it's not the full story of the work that these people are doing. Nobody wants to have this many views about something. Nobody wants to have these negative comments. But you can control this. You can write a fuller version of the story. And I'm going to show you how. Let's go and see if they're spending any money on ads. Unfortunately, they're spending a lot of money on ads. Do you suspect your loved one suffered nursing home abuse? If your loved one developed bed sores, they are spending money aggressively right now.
In Florida, there have been 75 suffered or witnessed nursing home neglect. With more than 50 nursing homes in the Miami metro area, nursing home abuse and neglect is unfortunately far too common. Hi.
You can see that they're running lots of different ads. Then the last thing that I would like to do, other than look at their comments in there, I was do the exact same thing on Reddit. And then one of my favorite channels to go see is I like to go to a social listening tool called Answer the Public. And it tells you what people are asking. I like to look in here and see what are the questions that people are asking that I would like to make sure that we answer thoroughly, not just one side of the coin. So you can say, will they hire? You can look over here, how, and what. This is a great free tool for you to start off. This is what we do when we start working with partners. And then let's see what the AI world is saying about us. Just see what Google says. Negative perceptions. That's too bad. One of the reasons that I started working with this partner is because my perception of long-term care is completely different than what Google told me. completely different what the law firm said. Now, this doesn't mean that what they are sharing here is not part of the truth. It's just not the full truth. And now it's time for the next step. Now, we can conclude that the negative perception is a measurable problem. We can prove it through Reddit and YouTube and Facebook ads and many, many more. We can see it on podcasts. We can see it on AI. We can find all of these people. But what are you going to do to combat these negative campaigns with millions and millions of views? What are you going to do to respond to these people? Are you going to respond one by one on YouTube? Are you going to try to get the Facebook ads taken down? The process that we have here allows us to show the truth that the general public doesn't actually know. And now we can start to combat the negative perception. So after filming 3 seasons of caregivers in the long-term care space, I know that this works. We're about to film the 4th and the 5th. See, People Worth Caring About was based on a study from LTC 100. One of the conventions that I went to recently for long-term care, one of the best in the country, LTC 100, actually did a study on the playbook for influencing. And one of the things that stood out to me is that the people who have a negative opinion often have no experience. So you look over here, no experience with the skilled nursing, 25% are neutral, 14% are negative. But look at those that have a positive, 65%. I'm here to tell you, sharing this story with them can impact their positive experience, positive perception. I'll give you some examples later of some documentaries that you've probably seen that you have no experience, but have impacted your perception of that specific industry or topic. All right, let's summarize. About 50% of people have a neutral or negative perception of long-term care. Those that have a positive perception have had a direct experience. What if showing them an amazing documentary can count as that experience and we can help them see the fuller picture? The solution here is to show them the reality that they do not know yet. Point 2, the documentary is a true solution. Okay, I want to walk you through the vehicle for truth is authenticity. The very first person that I filmed a documentary with, her name is Jaylene, and I'll never forget the day that she said, what's special about this documentary, People Worth Caring About, is that it's human, not Hollywood. Now, I wish those were my words, but she penned it correctly. See, when something looks polished and perfect, people do not trust it. Corporate sizzle reels are never going to end up on Netflix or Amazon Fire or Roku or Samsung TV. You know why? Because audiences do not trust them. Audiences trust real humanity. Humans have contradictions. I do, you do, your industry does. So what travels is real. What travels is human truth. So this is why People Worth Caring About, we chose the caregivers as our storytellers. We didn't choose the executives. We didn't choose the board members or the CEOs. There's 2 main strategic reasons that I want to share with you. Number 1 is the first problem that they brought to me is they said, we need to recruit younger people into this industry. See, long-term care had a staffing shortage for the last 10 years. By showing caregiving as a calling and their passion and purpose and meaning, we knew that we could attract a new generation who sees dignity and meaning in this work. If COVID might have cut off high schoolers from working as volunteers, we had to step up our game and put it back in the face of these teenagers to get them back into nursing homes. We did that through a documentary. The documentary is going to be on many, many platforms, more than just your television. It's on YouTube and it's being shown in person and lots of social media. Number 2, the second reason that we chose caregivers, for credibility. It's really hard for somebody to dismiss the testimony of someone who's dedicated 3 decades of their life to this vocation. If I were a PR person, if I were a politician, if I were a CEO and I was talking about this on a documentary, it's a lot easier for you to criticize me. But if I put somebody who looks like the person who takes care of my parents and my grandparents, somebody that I went to high school and they're passionate and they laugh and they cry and they take care of our seniors on television, now that is an amazing vehicle for authenticity. Now you can have more than that. You can have more than just this vehicle. I'm going to give a couple of examples. Like every successful documentary has the right vehicle, and we can help you solve that. You can do it on your own. See, a human-centered lens through which the audience discovers the bigger truth. This is the vehicle that I'm talking about. Let's talk about a documentary called My Octopus Teacher. You might have seen it. The vehicle here is the unlikely relationship, the unlikely friendship between a diver and an octopus. And through this relationship, it reveals the emotional intelligence of marine life. Spectacular. I know a lot of people who no longer eat octopus because of this documentary. Formula One, Drive to Survive. Now, this shows the drivers and the rivals as humans. It spotlights what they do. It's not about cars and motors and stats. Because of this show, F1 became a global phenomenon. My wife now gets up and watches this on the weekend. What about the documentary? We'll see how old you are. I remember this. Does anyone remember a documentary about Fred Rogers? It's called Won't You Be My Neighbor? This quiet humanity of a figure that raised me, Fred Rogers, reframed him from a kids' TV show host to a cultural icon of multiple generations, a cultural icon of empathy. What about The Biggest Little Farm? Did you see that? The vehicle here is a couple that's restoring a broken farm turned agriculture into a story of beauty, resilience, and harmony with nature. Now, this vehicle does not have to be glamorous. In fact, the less obvious it is, the more powerful the impact is. Okay? Let me repeat that. The right vehicle allows you to tell a story that 1 is complete, 2 is more authentic, 3 is more human. By more complete, I mean that you see the world behind the headlines, the negative ones, the ads, the positive ones, the billboards. More authentic, they hear from those who are actually living it, not just managing it, not the owners. More human, you connect with people, not systems. A nursing home no longer looks like bureaucracy. Rather, it looks like somebody's home. This happened. I'm going to share a post with you that went viral because of a story just like this. Now, I want to start to bring this home for you because in People Worth Caring About, caregivers were our vehicle. Just as an octopus revealed the soul of the ocean, or F1 drivers revealed the drama behind a sport, caregivers reveal the dignity and humanity inside of nursing homes, long-term care. Because when you want to change the public narrative about what people think of you, who you choose to carry the story is the story. Say that again. Who you choose to carry the story is the story. For People Worth Caring About, it was the caregivers who take care of my parents and my grandparents, and probably yours. I'm going to take you through a couple examples and a couple clips right here. There's some short stories that I want to share my screen, and I want to show you a clip from Lavita or Michael or Jewel. Lavita, 3 decades serving memory care. Why? Because she said people think dementia and Alzheimer's is contagious, that it can rub off on you. Michael, a former military, fought in combat to defend our country, decided he wanted to make a difference in his life, and he came back. Now he saves people's lives. Jewel, an immigrant, loves the nursing home so much she said she would never work anywhere else, and she's even learning Navajo. These are human stories, right? They're complete, they're authentic, and they're human. Now, what I want to share with you here is what was special about the documentary People Worth Caring About. It was not just an audiovisual piece. It was proof that the methodology works, okay? I shared with you the report beforehand about how many people have a neutral or negative perception but don't have an experience. We introduced them to an experience. See, the solution here is instead of ignoring the problem, we showed the hidden truth, the human connection, and the value of caregivers' work throughout their lives. Now, I always explain this framework. I always say when I'm doing a documentary with my director, I always say that there's a before and an after, and then you amplify, okay? The before is what we might think of long-term care. The after is what changes our mindset. Michael is a military member. I didn't know long-term care has military members that are men that take care of my grandparents. Jewel, I thought that when I go into long-term care, maybe no one will make the effort to learn my language or feed me what I want or talk to me. I never knew that Jewel would learn Navajo. So you see, they're surprising us. They are putting in my face the stereotypes that I have are wrong. Let me repeat. Instead of ignoring the problem, we showed the hidden truth. This is the full picture, the human connection and the value of caregivers' work through their stories. Now, what we do when we create documentaries, we work on organic impact and on earned PR. If necessary, we'll do ads. But our big goal is to get it on national television so people outside of your industry will see it. Here's a couple clips that I'm going to share with you that have gone viral. Here's some testimonials that I'll share with you that have been on social media. You can see people talking about us in AI. You can see people talking about us on podcasts, traditional media, new media, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Tons and tons of free PR. We've been on national television and we've been on lots and lots of podcasts. If you put the metrics through, More than 100,000 people saw our very first season of the documentary before it even got on national television. 100,000. And in the press, more than 500,000. They generated conversations and conversations at no cost. The internal impact is big. I've had people tell me that they no longer have a staffing crisis and they have volunteers reaching out to them. Those were the words of Tracy when she joined me on the podcast, People Worth Caring About.
What has the impact been like after we launched the docuseries?
People want their kids to be working here. I do not have enough jobs for the kids that want to come work here, which is so.
That is
and then
amazing.
People that are planning their retirements are like, I want to come fold laundry for you.
Now, the testimonials for me are impactful. The president of the board of the largest association told me that it was one of the most authentic depictions of the relationship between the caregiver and resident. My father said it's one of the proudest moments in his life. My father saw amazing caretakers when he took care of my grandparents and visited them every single day. He knew that the truth of long-term care was closer to his experience than what we see on Facebook ads, what we see on YouTube comments. You know what one of the biggest testimonials of our success is? When I got an email that we were accepted on every single smart television in the United States. The potential? Royalties. Free distribution. Now I no longer need to do the distribution. It's in the best interest of Amazon Fire, Samsung TV, and Roku to push this out so people stay on their platform. The results are no coincidence. They are the fruit of a strategy. And the strategy uses human authenticity to build trust and solve real business problems, real perception problems. This is the exact same methodology that works in other industries. Okay. Now, this is amazing for you because a documentary is not just a 60-minute piece of video content. It's a complete campaign. You know why documentaries are the one-stop shop for an evergreen campaign, in my opinion? Netflix and Amazon Prime give us the stats. It is the number one visual media, the number one asset that when a person clicks on it on their streaming platforms, they finish it. Better than TV shows, better than movies. And you know what's interesting? People are watching documentaries about niches that they did not even know about, that they weren't interested in. Do you think I was interested in octopuses before I watched that documentary? Do you think I was interested in Fred Rogers or Formula One? No, but the platform showed them to me. The algorithms worked for me. So these documentaries is not just something of 60 minutes that sits on YouTube. The uses and benefits of this documentary are strong. They'll help train new employees. They'll attract new talent to your industry. They'll bring you lots of free PR, podcasts, press, and social media. They'll give you material for lobbying and for fundraising. They're going to give you access to 300 million smart televisions in the United States. The potential for royalty, easily $20,000 to $200,000 over the next couple of years per documentary. It's going to help you bring in members, staff, and funding. You can show off what you're doing for your members, and it serves as a strategic ammunition against those people that are talking bad about you. The ball is in your court. You can't sit around any longer. You have 3 options right now. Number 1, you can do it yourself. I've written a book about it, about the process of how you can do a documentary to tell the fuller truth. Okay? Download the book in the comments, and I'll share with you my recipe for success so you can do it yourself. The first option is do it yourself. You can do it by following the book. Number 2, do it with us. We'll do it together. We guide you through the entire process. We'll hold your hand. We'll help you with the production. And we'll help you with the distribution process. Number 3, do it for you. That's what we'll do. As Strategic Pete and the team behind People Worth Caring About, we'll handle everything. We did this for our first 5 partners. We'd love to do it for you. If the perception is your challenge, if the negative opinion about your industry is your challenge, I can tell you right now, authenticity is the solution. Whether you want to do it yourself, whether you want me to do it with you, or you want me to do it for you, now is the time for you to embrace the documentary and change the perception of your industry. Schedule a 15-minute call to start creating your message today. Look forward to your questions and comments. Thank you for following along. Enjoy the ride. Wait till you see what happens to your industry in the next 10 years when you accomplish this. Congratulations, you've taken the first step. Now take the next one.